Situations.
You could sell some aquarium or like fishy flea market or something.
Ah,
Yes, yes, yes.
okay, I got what you mean.
Hmm, hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Mm.
I'll give you next question. So, have you seen any movies with a lot of fishes?
Oh, the closest that comes to mind is Finding Nemo, but I never watched the movie myself. I just heard of the music, not music, movie.
Hmm. How do you like geography?
Sorry, come again?
How do you like geography?
Geography.
Yeah.
Mm, well, I have not the slightest idea. I mean, I once watched National Geography just to better understand, like what it's like to be in the jungle, or maybe watching the Bear Grylls documentary. But I personally don't really like those things.
All right. Do you think geography is useful?
Mm, well, that's not a question I never ever thought about before. Geography is, I mean, I cannot speak for, like those who have expertise in those area. So as a just ordinary person myself, I could just barely say it may be important for, like finding some interesting, like, how do we say, natural phenomenon, but I don't know. Is that important? Yeah, it seems important.
All right. Have you ever learned geography?
That's exactly the same question. I have not the slightest idea, but I mean, I may have learned before when I was in middle school and high school, but the fact that I don't remember any single word, coming from that study means that I didn't really learn actively.
Hmm. Do you want to be a geography teacher?
I mean, the question sounds really mean. I mean, I keep saying I didn't, I didn't learn and I don't have any idea. But okay, if that pays me really well,
Hmm.
then I could give it a shot of
Hmm.
becoming geography teacher. But would that ever interest me? Well, I would say no.
All right. So now it's part two. I'm gonna tell you the topic what you were going to say. So, describe a new shop that has recently opened in your town, in your city, and you should say where the shop is and what it sells and who goes to the shop, and explain how successful you think it will be in the future.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm gonna count 1 minute.
Yeah. I mean, I will just go right away.
Sure.
It just happens that I live near Songsu Station.
Hmm.
That translating to people gathering there and a lot of, pop stores opening and just going up and down. And that also means that I have natural exposure to new shop on a daily basis. It literally, like every time I just go out just to grab a coffee, then
Hmm.
I can see this new shop. And one thing re- that just comes to my mind right now is one pretzel shop. I don't really remember the name of store,
Hmm.
but it seems quite popular
Hmm.
for no reason other than they just sell nice pretzel. And it's again located near Songsu Station. And I'm not really sure if that would be still like, popular in the future, but just judging by the number of people right in front of the store, I would say it is already successful.
Hmm.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Hmm. All right. It's been like 1 minute and 20 seconds. You have 40 minutes left. You wanna continue to speak more, or you wanna move on to part three?
I'd like to move on to part three.
Sure. What kind of shops are popular in your city?
Oh, definitely restaurants and sports bar. Well, I mean, I'm just working, so I mean that's the only two that I can think of right now.
All right. Why do young people enjoy going to the some boutiques?
Sorry, come again?
Why do young people enjoy going to the some boutiques?
Vertical.
Yeah.
Like what does that mean?
Okay. I'm gonna type.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because I think when we say, I'm not really sure how I would just properly pronounce this one.
Hmm.
Boutique,
Hmm.
boutique. I'm not really sure,
Hmm.
but anyway, I think people somehow align themselves with what they wear, meaning that the place where they're in and the stuff the place is selling right now could somehow represent who they are as a customer. So
Hmm.
that's why by just going to those kind of places, they feel somehow aligned with what they see right now, which is somehow fancy and somehow, like extravagant.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, what do you think? I mean, do you think location is key factor to attract customers?
Oh, there was a like, bit of a like, disconnection. So,
All right, all
can
right.
you?
Do you think location is key factor to attract customers?
Definitely, because the first thing they have to do is capturing the interest of like like the pedestrians on the street. Because when they just open the store, it's not like they can like shell out a lot of money for marketing and advertising. So you know like whatever the means they use, they have to just capture their interest. So in that regard, you know like that kind of strategy is important.
Mhm. So, what's the difference between a small shop and a large shop?
Space. I mean, literally size. I mean, small is small and big is big and large is large. Uh, but leaving to the side, when the place is spacious enough, that means they can allow for some dead space where they don't like put any stuff in, and it somehow gives certain kind of impression to customers, like like I don't know, this may relate to some psychology of people, but when I'm in a space where it's very spacious, I feel kind of free of my movement, for example, or like I feel like I could do whatever, and that's the advantage you can get by having a large space. When space is small, I don't see any like benefit, but some people prefer those kind of places, but not really, sure.
All right. How important are price and quality in influencing customers' behavior?
I think mm, that's why we say like cost efficiency, and smart people will definitely prefer like cost efficiency, and that's very like influential factor to just like selling stuff to people.
All right, this is the last question. Why is cheap fashion so popular?
Cheap fashion.
Yes,
Oh, I never heard of the terminology cheap fashion.
cheap,
Can you
cheap.
cheap
Yeah,
cheap fashion?
yeah, not expensive fashion, cheap fashion.
Is that? Oh, okay. Cheap fashion. I never heard of the word, but cheap fashion. So your question is, why is cheap fashion important?
No, it's why is cheap fashion so popular?
Well, I didn't know that it was popular, but if I have to answer the question, cheap fashion is popular. I mean, is that really popular, or people are forced to buy cheap stuff to fancy themselves? That's There is huge distinction between them. My understanding is people are forced to buy cheap fashion, but don't call me on that. I'm not an expert on trend.
All right, I think you can get like 9.
Nah.
I have
When-
a
when-
personal question.
I mean, I'm genuinely curious about it. Like, what is cheap fashion? I mean, literally
Oh,
cheap.
I think
Cheap
like
fashion.
cheap price fashion.
Oh,
So I also
Like
just give you some
Uniqlo,
difficult question,
Zara.
uncomfortable questions to
sorry.
see how you react about how you respond about the question.
Oh, there is like ulterior motive behind those kind of questions.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. It's very tricky.
Yes. Can I
Mm.
ask you some personal question?
Yep.
How do you study English? You were like, I was seeing a lot of English speaking Koreans so far, like, but I was in United States for 1 year,
Uh-huh.
and but you've been abroad, like Australia, for 10 months only, right? But your English level is like more and better than who graduate like college in England in America because your vocabularies are so higher level and grammars
Thank
are really good. But
Mhm.
you don't really. But I don't know. I don't really know about the Australian accent. But your English so fluent. But how you study?
Uh, I always go to the place where I could argue.
Do you have any like English talking club like session you join regularly?
I specifically, it was debate club.
Uh-huh.
That's where you have to be ready for
Hmm.
embarrassment,
Hmm.
because if you fail to persuade other people,
Hmm.
then the first thing you have to take is embarrassment somehow, right? Because
All
you
right.
you want to win it over,
All right.
but it's just impossible, without proper language skill.
Hmm.
And I think in that regard, getting involved in such activity is quite important
Hmm.
for learning purpose.
Hmm. Then how long have you been involving those kind of activities?
Right after I got back to Korea
Hmm.
from Australia, so it's been about 4 year-ish.
All right.
Mm.
So do you still go those debate club in regular terms?
No, it has been, on and off
Hmm.
because, my work
Hmm.
has been getting really busier and busier.
Hmm.
So I couldn't, but I wish I could.
Hmm. All right.
Hmm.
So next, oh, so what was the motivation to make you keep studying and move forward about better English?
I think kind of my desire for I know this may sound grandiose, but my desire for connectivity has been catalyst to English learning. I mean, like I don't want to put myself inferior to native speakers. It's not like competition,
Hmm.
but more of a I have a genuine desire to persuade and to be persuaded. You need to say it should not be my lack of language skill.
Hmm.
That's the last thing I want it to be,
Hmm.
but maybe lack of my idea, then I could learn
Hmm.
something from other people. But if I just surely don't understand what they're talking about, then it's not like we are on an equal footing,
Hmm.
right? You cannot even be a friend because there is like obvious disadvantage of myself.
Hmm.
And when I place myself into their shoes, for example, like if I just run into, for example, people from like China,
Hmm.
they try to speak Korean
Hmm.
and I don't speak Chinese,
Hmm.
and then how would I consider them, right?
Hmm.
It's just obvious. Oh, you have this advantage.
Hmm.
And I think I would put myself into that situation exactly if I cannot speak English. So from that imagination, I kept pushing myself a little hard, like ever since like 2016. Oh, actually 18.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so this is the last question. Thank you for your answer. So, do you have any specific aim with your English?
I set the goal like
Hmm.
when I first started learning the language,
Hmm.
and my first goal was expressing myself, like what I wanted
Hmm.
and what I have to describe, for example. So that's the second step.
Hmm.
And third step was lead the meeting. And the fourth step is persuading other people.
Hmm.
So that's the ultimate goal, actually.
But I mean, is that your job? You're not supposed to persuade, like, supposed to persuade some customers from abroad with your English, or you
No,
just
I mean,
that's just your pure desire from your heart?
if you ever find yourself in a team and in a meeting,
Hmm.
then there may come a point where you have to just talk other people into your conversation.
Hmm.
For example, you have an idea, you have a good agenda, but then like you really know your idea is kind of, well executable.
Hmm.
But then again, you cannot express. Then that becomes really, problem, right?
Hmm.
So I don't want to be in the situation, and that's what I meant by persuasion. You have to have decent understanding of the language
Hmm.
to be yourself.
So, have you had some experience about what you concerned that persuading situation?
Of course, like when I just travel
Hmm.
in Philippines, for example,
Hmm.
and then my food is a little like bigger than average,
Hmm.
and then like the staff
Hmm.
somehow just told me that I should pay more just because my food requires bigger sauce,
All
and I
right.
was oh, this seems like an like
They're
discrimination.
overcharging you because you're a
Yeah, they
foreigner and
overcharge me.
yeah.
And then that, at the glimpse of moment, I felt like, should I complain about this?
Hmm.
And there's also part of me that feels, oh, I should just keep silent because I know I cannot,
Hmm.
like express my frustration.
You just
So
didn't
I
want
was,
to make a scene at the moment, or you were not
I
sure
mean,
about your English confidence?
yeah, I was
Uh,
concerned about my English fluency
okay.
because back then I was not as
Hmm.
so, but my genuine self as a Korean is basically complaining a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, oh, this shouldn't happen. So I just started, like rumblings over, what
Hmm.
happened and blah 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 to my friend, and then I just kind of intimidated the staff, saying, if you overcharge me, then I would take everyone out of the store. That you get nothing. It was very like kind of heated discussion, not discussion, but kind of haggling over the price and stuff.
Hmm.
So that kind of changed my perception, and that somehow lead me more into my argumentative side. And I
Okay.
realized, oh, I should be fluent enough.
Hmm. So, you actually had some experience about your motivation for better English and fluent English, but you also like having a discussion and or argument or debate personally. So that could be your biggest motivation for your fluent English.
Mm, perhaps,
Hmm.
yeah.
All right. Do you read books and watch also like uh English podcast, all those things?
I tried podcasts and stuff, but I don't really like it
Hmm. Have you
because
tried to have your own podcast before?
no.
Okay. I think you can make your own like debate crew or team on online. I
Oh.
used to be on the debate team like way long time ago. Like right after that I finished my 어학연수. So it was
Mhm.
10 years ago, but I didn't
Oh.
really reach your level because but
I mean, you know, I think there is no level. It's just your eagerness.
mhm,
And I know you are eager enough to lead, this entire team
mhm,
and hold session every, day in, day out.
mhm,
So I feel like, with your passion, you can just reach your goal.
mhm.
I don't know where, but you have your goal, right?
You're right.
Yeah. You can surely make it.
So you are like purely like just like have fluent English. You don't really aim for like master degree, certain college abroad, or you wanted to write a book in English.
I mean, of course, if I could, I really want it. I mean, I'm a programmer by trade,
Hmm.
and I'm learning a language which is not as popular as like Python and Java,
Hmm.
which if you know about it,
Hmm.
but I'm learning somehow like I'm using different language and I want to write a book about it. But,
Hmm.
with my English, it's very difficult to capture the interest. You know what I'm saying? Because culturally, I have not been as exposed to, English as I should be. So that's why every time I try to write things so it could kind of interest other people, I find it really difficult.
Oh yeah, writing is also another story. It's not only about English thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you just write things in a dry way,
Hmm.
it's sort of fine. But let's say you have to write some novel or some literature,
Hmm.
that alters the case entirely, right? So I wish I could, experience more, in English speaking country so I could observe the cultural context and, you know, some more localized,
Then
thingy.
why don't you go study and work in that English speaking country?
Oh, I will, but I'm
Oh,
not really sure.
oh,
And I have no plan for, like master's degree and PhD.
mhm.
So that's why the only way I could just give it a shot is by working abroad. But
Oh, I see.
By the way, it's not our first time having a conversation. I remember you said you are working for IT industry.
see, I mean, it's not, I mean, you know what? Because I remember who invited me. It was Park Ji-young who was being
I
kicked out.
I have no any connection with PUBG.
Okay, you are the one. Okay, now I see it. You are the one who invited me. But
By the way, what I'm concerned about my age is, as much as we are getting older, it's harder to find a job, especially for IT field. You
true,
know,
true.
most young programmer, they are coming to the market and, they are building. So if we are reaching to 35 or 40 years old, we are, backwarding from them.
Mm,
Yeah, so that's why I decided to leave as soon as possible.
okay, so okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm closing in on the age beyond which
Mhm.
I could not go abroad by, on like working holiday and stuff. So I feel really sorry for myself as well. I mean, like over 35, you cannot, right?
If you are applying team leader or senior position, it doesn't matter. But in some country like Canada, they measure the score by age. So if you are reaching to 30 years or 35, you get lower score
Uh-huh.
for immigration.
Oh. So do they count your experience in Korea as the same as the experience in their country?
Yeah, work experience is the most significant score, but the age also important. And
Okay.
if you get married, you get more black mark.
Black mark.
Yeah,
Oh. You
so
in
better
Australia,
in Canada.
Canada as well.
Yeah.
But like if you are married to, for example, a Canadian,
Oh yeah,
then
that doesn't matter.
then what's the opposite of black mark? Is it like white mark? Sounds like
Yeah, you don't need it to get immigration, or you
wow.
need to just wedding dress.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I don't need wedding dress, but yeah, okay. Well, that sounds sad.
I think the best way of learning language is, getting you know, yeah, marriage or love, kind of relationship.
People say that, but I have
Yeah.
a slightly different idea upon that because I've seen really a lot of people living in Australia for more than like 20 years as a Korean,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't speak ounce of English. They were just stuck in their town, surrounded by a lot of Koreans,
Mhm, mhm,
and they didn't get any exposure to the culture. They
mhm.
just created their own something in between Korean and Australian, and they just lived by their Korean heritage. So still, it depends on your, how do you say, greed.
But if you are involved in a relationship with Aussie girl, who's are, totally born in Australia,
Hmm.
you can learn her culture and the habit and the tradition.
But I'm not really sure how independent you are. But imagine you are in a relationship where you keep learning from your partner, but your
Uh-huh.
partner barely learns something from you. In that
Yeah.
picture, how fair and how equal your relationship could be. I don't think that's really possible.
Well, I have different idea, actually, I used to be a part of the church member.
Mm,
Even though the church leader is a Korean, there are so many foreign, member who want to follow with his, speech and his idea.
mhm.
So if you have a great, perceive a skill or good heart, I think it doesn't matter.
I mean, in
Um,
a group, that may not be really obvious, but one-on-one situation, that's a little different.
is that
Yeah. I mean,
how come?
supposed to be really. I mean, let's say, for example, you go to supermarket and they do
Uh-huh.
something for you because you're not able to. I mean, you are able to, but just imagine if you cannot, then it's like having a baby, and then
Uh-huh.
on every move you make, they
Uh-huh.
give us say and they give us some guidance,
Yeah.
and that skew the relationship into, you know, some
Mm.
filter.
Yeah, but I'm the person who believe love can overcome everything.
I know.
Am I too optimistic?
I mean, we all can do that, but just if we don't practice, that's what I'm saying. It's not like simply by relationship. It's not like we can make it into the ultimate goal you're wishing for.
Yeah, I mean, I got your point. Love should not be a just tool to just learn your language and boost up your language skill.
True. Yeah.
But there are so many advantages of learning their culture and their background.
Yeah. True. Especially the cultural aspects. You cannot easily learn it by just learning, but well, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I wondered, Obi, you said you're going to United States, so are you going with your girlfriend?
We were supposed to go together, but she's not really
Oh,
interested in that option anymore. So,
so are,
I
are
mean,
you going to break
yeah,
up?
no, no, we are
Really?
in that some situation. So, I don't know.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
let's figure out.
yeah, time will figure it out.
Oh, it sounds a little like tense.
Yeah.
Hope we can just figure out the best way for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm. So, like, what would you major?
Oh, I work at a medicine company. It's called LNK Bio. We actually make some medical implant. So when you have a back pain in your spine, there is a disc, right? So when people get old, the disc got old, and our product makes some surgery. So I
Oh,
actually, most of our customers are doctors from abroad because even though we sell our product in Korea, due to the insurance system, we don't
mhm.
make much money. So we target all our uh, sales to abroad mostly.
So is it Korean company or?
It's Korean company, but we also have a different name of company in United States. But it's the same company, but just different name.
Oh,
Yeah.
implant?
Yeah, implant. Implant is not your teeth, it's about your backbone. So when you have a disc problem, you will get old. So doctors get rid of your disc with some scissors, and then they put our implant in your disc. So this is actually artificial disc.
Oh,
Yes,
Mm.
yes. So for the surgery,
oh, okay.
yeah.
So you are a marketer?
I work at marketing and also international, the global sales department, but generally they call me PM, the product manager. So I explain our product to the customers, most of doctors, and also control the sales.
Oh.
Yes.
So
That's
would that
awesome.
major be related to what you're doing right now? Like in
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I used to work at the some art agency, but
art agency?
yeah, since I speak English okay, so I got a job in here.
Wow,
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Hmm.
I mean, my girlfriend is also working for like pharmaceutical company,
Hmm.
and she's also marketer.
Hmm.
So I mean, we are not 100% sure if we could just make it into different country, but like we all have to prepare for not only English but also like vocational,
Hmm.
maybe degree and preparation.
Hmm.
Um,
Uh, for marketing, most our company actually hired many high education figures before, but their job performance was pretty much poor. So
okay.
so
Mm.
about marketing, just like you can see, make some advertisement and get make some target customers who has a big influence in that country. I mean, the big doctors who
Mm.
has most power. So sometimes
Key,
we,
key opinion leader, right?
yeah, kind of opinion leader, but definitely just some president of that doctor uh, organization.
Like okay.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
yeah, you know
Like
what I'm saying. Because
they have,
when
they
they
have
use, if they use our product, it that influence all their fellows had to follow his opinions. So,
I mean that's exactly the same as like what my girlfriend is saying to me all the
hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Like party, not party,
Hmm.
some
Yeah,
like
we also make
conference.
some party for the doctors.
Okay.
Hmm. I
The
think
people.
most works are similar in this field, the health care and medicine, all the things.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay. Sounds very.
Interesting.
I mean, I find it really like creative in that you guys have to just kind of engender some positive impression upon the company
Hmm.
and also have to just sell people into the product.
Hmm.
And the buyer is none other than doctors who are supposedly being very intelligent, right?
Yeah, right.
And that sounds really like challenging.
Yeah, doctors are always bossing around us. They say I'm going to buy your product, so give me your product. But they don't really pay it yet
Oh,
for many years. They don't even
For
poor.
use it. So they are keep waiting for us to bribe them. Yeah,
Oh my God.
this is how it works, like real expensive field.
Wow.
Uh,
okay.
yeah, that's the another table like story. Me,
Oh,
I'm
Yeah.
just demonstrate our instrument and product to the doctors. This is how you use our product for the surgery. If you use our product, you can save more time. You can reduce your surgery time from 1 hours to 30 minutes. And this is good for your patient. And
Mm.
but they don't really use our product because they also got a lot of money from different company.
it's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
if they pay them more money, so they have, no choice.
Dang. Oh, that's
And
tough.
yeah, tough, tough.
So this is how big money work and big money life. You know?
Then, like, what got you into, kind of dreaming of going abroad?
Mhm.
I mean, in the same field.
Oh yeah, but I actually wanted to study MBA if I can, but some some of my coworkers actually have degree of MBA, but they say this it's not really effective as usual before, and there are plenty of people who has MBA degree, and I just
Mm.
really wanted to understand the all the connection that's between companies and industries and all how influence and how much they influence each other.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
understand? Yeah,
Yeah.
like for example, like when COVID happened, how the WHO responded and how it affects to the world, which industry made huge money, and all people's life pattern changed, and Bill Gates actually mentioned those COVID or international infection like couple of times before, and
Mm.
I wanted to understand all the big puzzles.
Oh, that all sounds. Are you going to be a CEO?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to study more.
Oh, then are you going to study pharmacy or
I
what's
don't
your
know.
major?
Oh, my major is science something.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. So I'm not sure if any, I don't think any big MBA would affect me because I don't really have super big
Mm.
experience or like I'm not really that smart.
Mm.
So I'm thinking about just small college who offer me any options.
Oh,
Yeah.
so are you applying for uh STEM department or like a science or
I don't know.
pharmacy?
I just these days I watch on YouTube Stanford MBA YouTube channel
Uh-huh.
and Harvard MBA YouTube channel, and
Uh-huh.
I also see a lot of business consulting YouTube channels. I mean, those things
Mm.
are so fun for me.
Mm.
So I don't really watch other like, entertaining like funny channels like
Uh-huh.
Pishik. They are no fun at all. Those serious
Mm.
things more interesting for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually,
So.
what I'm concerned about is, all over the world is going to, extreme right,
Mhm.
like a Donald Trump, even some European country, they set the boundary and the war for, foreigner.
Mhm.
So they are not really upsetting foreigner nowadays
No. Oh.
because there are too many migrants.
Oh, you're right. But I heard that the USA Immigrant Department actually they closed the door for
Yeah.
next couple of years. So uh I don't know how it's going to be, but
Mm.
yeah. I also just thinking about actually Harvard University has certain programs. If I take it on
Oh.
online, so they can
Uh-huh.
give us a certain certification. So this is not
Mm.
like MBA degree or something, but it could fulfill my desire because their education course will
Mm.
be very high level. So
Oh.
I don't know. I'm
Mm.
just find the best way for me.
Maybe for alternative, you can consider Canada or Plan B because if you get a visa from Canada, you can still work in United States.
Uh-huh. I'm thinking about Australia and Canada also. So
Mm.
if they have a good program and English speaking
Mm.
country, then
Yeah,
yeah, I'll welcome any options.
yeah. And the college tuition fees are way cheaper than United States.
Oh, really? In
Yeah,
Canada?
yeah.
Oh, I see.
The tuition fee in the state is almost like, one 10 million, 10 million.
It's not like 10 million, but it's super expensive though. Almost I heard that like EOC or like
Yeah.
almost EOC. So when you
Yeah,
go
except yeah.
like MBA master degree was EOC.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I
Except the housing price and the
yeah.
consumer price.
Yeah, living cost is also super expensive though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, right.
Mhm. Hope the best.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
really.
Oh,
yeah, so Migo, so
Mhm.
you still willing to join this session like this when you have a time?
Why not?
Sure. So how often could you join this session?
Oh, whenever I could make it,
Hmm.
but there is no like settled time frame for this
But
because
mostly you are free at night after work, right?
yeah, I actually just got off.
Oh, oh yeah, you're a programmer, right?
I mean, not because I'm a programmer, but you know, just I don't know. I just stayed at work and studied up until like 10 and got off there and then just got home. So after taking shower, it's 11.
Wow. So how's your
But
work recently? I mean, there were a lot of work requests like since COVID happened on the older program and the startup thing. But after COVID ended up, I heard that it's quite job market is quite loose.
I think like the forecast or the broadcasting system kind of centers around things for beginners and
Mm,
novices. And I don't see any differences
mhm.
in moving to different company, for example, because things not happen really changed a lot. I mean,
Mm,
I cannot speak for people in managerial role or leadership like CEO and CTO, but
mhm.
like from my perspective, the things have been pretty much the same.
Oh,
But it's just that if you just started, then you may get in a bit of a problem of
mhm,
getting a job, for example.
mhm,
But then if you have decent amount of experiences and seniority,
mhm.
well, not really.
I see.
Mm.
All right. Uh, so it's almost midnight, and you'll have to work tomorrow. So you guys have
Yep.
anything, any questions or anything to talk more about?
Next time
oh,
I will be examiner for you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, it
Then
was good to talk. Hey, is that okay if I post this conversation on YouTube? So it's not going to be public, it's exclusive, so only our members can see this conversation.
did you record it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
surprise!
Sorry. I was supposed to ask you first, but since your English is so good, so I didn't want to lose this opportunity. So that's why I'm asking you now. If you don't want it, I'm not gonna post it. I will just delete it. But your English will be very good motivation for others.
Well, not really sure, but I mean, okay, you can do that. I
Yeah.
now I see why Lily didn't say anything. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it.
All right.
All right. It was good talk with you guys. Have a good night.
We're
Okay,
gonna
have a good night. See
All
you.
right. All right.